At 10 a.m. on January 15, 1947, a local mother named Betty Bersinger was walking through the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. Glancing into a vacant lot, she spotted a pale shape resting in the weeds. Her first thought was that it was a discarded store mannequin. The object was actually a human body. It had been severed completely at the waist and was positioned in a deliberate pose by the killer. When investigators arrived, they found a clinical anomaly. The body had been entirely drained of blood and scrubbed clean. Despite the severe mutilation, there was no blood found anywhere on the surrounding grass. The absence of blood at the dump site deprived the LAPD of their primary starting point. The investigation began with a void where physical evidence should have been, forcing detectives to work backward from a crime scene that had been systematically sanitized. With no identification on the victim, the LAPD turned to the FBI to cross-reference her fingerprints against federal records. A match came back from a 1943 underage drinking arrest in Santa Barbara. The victim was 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. While the press later invented a story of a glamorous, aspiring actress, the record showed a different reality. Short suffered from debilitating asthma and lived as a transient, bouncing between rented rooms and relying on the charity of strangers for meals and shelter. Detectives traced her final movements to the evening of January 9th, where she was last seen alive at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. For the next 5 days, Short disappeared from the public record. Her drifting lifestyle and constant reliance on the kindness of strangers made her an ideal target for a predator who knew she wouldn't be missed immediately. The coroner's autopsy revealed the body was cleanly bisected between the second and third lumbar vertebrae. Moving to the face, the killer slashed the corners of her mouth toward her ears. This Glasgow smile reinforced the theory that the killer possessed specific medical training. As details leaked, newspapers began a frantic rush for coverage. They nicknamed her the Black Dahlia, focusing on her dark clothing to create a sensational narrative that sold out daily editions. This intense media coverage fundamentally compromised the integrity of the crime scene. Photographers and onlookers swarmed the vacant lot, potentially destroying the very physical evidence detectives needed to identify the killer. The spectacle generated over 500 false confessions from people seeking attention, which actively crippled the LAPD's ability to focus on legitimate leads. On January 24th, the killer made direct contact. A suspicious manila envelope arrived at the Los Angeles Examiner, addressed with words clipped from newspaper headlines. Inside were Elizabeth Short's birth certificate, photographs, and an address book belonging to Mark Hansen. Forensic analysis of the package revealed a chilling detail. The envelope and all its contents had been meticulously washed with gasoline to remove any fingerprints. Police used the recovered items to track down the last known man seen with the victim, a salesman named Robert Red Manley. Manley was subjected to an intense interrogation and polygraph test. He was eventually cleared after his alibi for the time of the murder was confirmed. The gasoline-washed package confirmed the LAPD was facing a forensically aware adversary, one who understood how to destroy evidence while systematically mocking the detectives. Investigators turned to Mark Hansen, the nightclub owner from the address book. While one of the last to speak to Short, the evidence against him remained purely circumstantial. A more compelling profile emerged for Doxy. Despite police bugging his house and recording what sounded like an admission of the crime, Hodel managed to flee to the Philippines before he could be charged. Another suspect, Leslie Dillon, drew attention after displaying knowledge of a secret, unreleased detail, the removal of a portion of flesh containing a rose tattoo, which the killer had then inserted back into the body. Despite this pool of suspects tied directly to the victim and the evidence, the investigation stalled. Bureaucratic confusion and procedural errors allowed the perpetrator to escape justice. Over time, and after nearly 80 years, the samples may be too thin to provide a profile. Elizabeth Short arrived seeking a better life. She remains a permanent fixture of the city's history, but only because the killer effectively erased the woman, leaving only the legend of the Black Dahlia in her place.